guys, it's been a while. I've been meaning to jump back on here and have a little conversation about something that's been on my mind lately. For those of you that have not listened to my book or read my book, my channel basically started by me reading my book audibly and giving a little commentary before and after the chapters. So please check out my channel and start from the beginning if you want to hear the whole story about my life in and out of the JW organization. The thing that I've been wanting to talk about, it came up recently. I don't know if any of you guys saw it, but Wendy Renay on her channel, her YouTube channel, interviewed me recently. And something that came up in our conversation really kind of stuck with me afterwards. We were talking about the idea of having the answers to everything. If you're raised in the Jehovah's Witness organization, you know very well that one of the prime things that they tell you if you ever start having doubts, or if you ever talk about possibly not staying faithful to the faith, well, where would you go? You know, they want you to come up with an alternative answer to their truth, what they call truth, or else you'd be ridiculous. You'd be, not intelligent to leave because you don't have something else to go to. And during my conversation with Wendy, and I'm going to leave the link to that interview in the description below so that you guys can check out the interview and check out Wendy's channel if you haven't already. She's awesome. She's got great interviews and great information. But when we talked about it, we were talking about the fact that for me, and you'll see too, if you listen to my book or read my book, over the years of being out of the organization, it's been over 12 years for me, I've really gotten very comfortable with not feeling like I have to have the ultimate answers, and being okay with always having questions, or I would say allowing possibilities of why are we here? What are we doing on this planet? What is life about? Is there a God? Is there, angels? Or do we just, go to blackness when we die? All those different questions. And I, probably like so many of you guys, when you leave an organization like the Witnesses, it can go in a couple ways. I think for people that kind of come out real slow, maybe are hanging on a little bit to certain ideas, or maybe they're hanging on for family, or they're really kind of clinging to, kind of that Pollyanna side of the Jehovah's Witness message about the paradise is going to bring happiness and living forever. And so sometimes, we can really hold on to those things that we learned from when we were tiny kids, a lot of us. And so it's really hard to completely just one of the apostate channels, the girl calls it burning down the house, getting to the place where you really, really disassemble everything you've been taught, going back to the very basics, is the Bible God's word, And so a lot of us really get introspective, we get really investigative, and we want to know, the answers. And it can be really fun. It can be amazing. And it's always helping you evolve as a human if you're taking in knowledge, true, accurate knowledge, and you're getting insights from other people, from other perspectives, and allowing yourself to think critically about a lot of those subjects. But after being away from it as long as I have, like I said in the beginning, I've gotten so comfortable with not having every answer. If I have a question and I want to look into it, I look for a book on that subject, or I watch some videos on that subject, or talk to other people that have a different perspective, and allow myself to let that kind of wash over me, over my mind, over my heart. and see how it resonates. And really that is probably the basic point of this video today is, and I did bring it up in my book, I can't remember which chapter that I discussed that, but getting to a place where you really trust yourself. You trust yourself to know when something is true, when something is resonating and sounds logical, intelligent. Kind of you can feel it in your bones. You can feel it in your heart sometimes when you hear truth. And when you've been in an organization, and this is not just Jehovah's Witnesses, any cult would be this way, but a lot of other religions that are not considered cults can do this, but it can really erode our ability to think highly of our own opinions and our own intuition and our own sensibilities about what sounds and feels correct or right. And it is such a freeing place to be when you don't need the ultimate answer, when it's okay for you to explore and there's no time frame on it, where we don't have to feel like we're in the last of the last of the last of the last days or whatever they say now. Our lifetime is a time for us to explore, and there's no rush for us to figure out the answers. And for me, and I really hope that we can start a conversation with this. I'd love to. I've never done a live chat, and I kind of have a goal of trying to do a live chat so we can have a real conversation about this in real time. But the idea that it's so freeing to let go of the fear that if we don't have the ultimate answer, then some entity, a God, a creator, whatever else that people believe in, is going to either punish us or we'll get even like bad karma, and that will bother us. But I guess I kind of want to get in that conversation because I know there are people that believe that, if we weren't taught how to behave good or well or appropriately, then, we will just go around murdering people and starting wars and doing horrible things. And I really do not believe that is the case. I believe, for me, and I always say I'm not a big believer in belief, so I like to leave that open-ended. If you ever hear me say I believe, it means I feel that we are all born with a heart of love. That's what resonates to me. That's what I see when I see a little baby and see the love in their eyes and the love that parents have when they're looking back at that baby, or when we watch the beautiful things in nature and how lovely and entertaining and how beautiful the planet is. There's so much beauty and love that exists. And that's not to say that things can't evolve to a place, obviously, that we can see where all kinds of not great things, not loving things happen. But I feel like it is the ultimate answer is letting go of needing the answer. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call while I'm recording this. So if we can get to a place where we can let go of the need to have the answer, to have the truth, wow, I mean, everything shifts, everything changes. Suddenly, you don't have fear of behaving in ways simply for what society expects, for what a religion expects. Obviously, we live in whatever land we live in, and we have to follow the laws of the land, and there are certain things that are, beyond our choice per se, especially nowadays. You guys hear all the discussions on the news about who, vaccines and whatever else that people want to fight about, as far as what's okay and what's mandated and everything like that. So there's there's obviously a governor on on that, so to speak. We could do whatever we want, and but I think that going back to a sense, which I think that we're born with, of I was born good. All those scriptures that told me my heart is treacherous, that the natural inclination is in me is bad, those have been wiped off the table. I don't believe that anymore. I know, I always knew that I wasn't a bad person. A lot of the things in that church really, really talked me into believing on a real intense level that I was flawed, that I needed to work on things, that I always needed to improve, that I should examine my heart. Well, the reality was when I let go of their dogma, when I examined my heart, all I found was good. All I found was beautiful and good and loving and everything. And I just want to, put that out there as part of this community, because I know everybody's at different levels. Some people left yesterday. Some people left 45 years ago or whatever. I've been gone over 12 years. And so obviously there's different states of mind as far as when you're leaving. But for those of you that have left more recently, I also want to put that out there, because in some ways I feel like it's just the best when you finally can completely let go of it. If you find that there's little parts of you that are just still lingering, and maybe, and what if, and if something horrible happens in the world, kind of questioning, is this Armageddon? When you get to that point where you never question that again, I mean, you get to that point where it's so far from your reality, and actually sounds kind of ridiculous. So it gives you that freedom to be able to really trust yourself and know truth when you hear it, feel truth when you feel it, and really, really being okay with who and what you are. Because that is something that has recently really come home for me. And you'll find in reading my book or listening to my book on my channel here, that I talk a lot about self-love, which can sound really trite, and people can kind of dismiss it as that's silly and I don't really understand. But I really believe that if we don't truly love ourselves, it makes it really hard to love others. It's not impossible, but it makes it really hard. So if we judge ourselves harshly, we're judging other people harshly. If you've ever met someone that's always pointing the finger at everybody and saying, well, they're this, and labeling people and pointing out what other people are doing wrong or why they're a bad person, the reality is all those words are really, they're saying the same thing to themselves. And when you've been raised in a world that constantly tells you you're flawed, you're sinful, you need to examine yourself, because you were born dirty, for lack of a better description or whatever. And when you get away from that and you realize, wow, what I am is actually beautiful and loving, and I'm going to use a word. Here's a trigger word for all you all you ex-witnesses. Having sovereignty within yourself. That for me has been something that was like a weird concept, because it sounds so counter to everything we learned. We had to give glory to the universal sovereign. And I don't wish to offend people that, still feel that way. I know this message probably isn't for you if you do feel that way. I respect your belief and everything. But for me, recognizing and I don't love to use the word God, because it's not a man with a beard in the sky to me, or, kind of an intimidating male figure sitting on a throne or anything like that. The source of life to me is non-judgmental. It's loving. Um, it's beautiful and it's powerful, and I'm a part of that. That would be my feeling, my concept of what God is. And so if I'm a part of that, then I'm a part of that beautiful energy that created the beauty that we see in the world. Um, and so I really, really wanted to talk about that and see if it inspires any conversations with you guys. And also, even to a deeper level, because I did discuss like self-care in my book, really being good to yourself. And I think those things are really, really valuable and important. Um, but more recently, I've really gotten to this place. I'm real big on doing mantras and ceremonies and rituals, and one of the mantras that I've put in my repertoire to ease anxiety or tension is, I am the frequency of unconditional love for myself and everyone. And I repeat that over and over again because I do believe, I feel that we are all energy, just like everything that we see here on our planet and in the universe. We are energy, and we are frequency, and we are light. And so I like to go to a really base level. I can tell myself I love myself. I can look in the mirror and say, you're beautiful, I love you, which are really hard to do for a lot of people. I've been doing it for many, many years, so it's not hard for me to do. But really loving myself unconditionally, when that came across my radar recently, it really made me look deeper into it, because I realized, like, if you can love yourself unconditionally, which a lot of us haven't experienced that in life, especially those of us that are shunned, we experience extremely conditional love. And that's what we were surrounded with a lot of our life. So to be able to experience unconditional love, when you can extend that to yourself, when you can expand that within yourself, it makes it really easy to do that for other people. And when I say unconditional love, it's like I have people in my life that have been shunning me for more than a decade, and I love them. It doesn't mean I'm going to put myself in harm's way. I'm not going to let them hurt me. I'm not going to allow them to hold any sway over my life by any means. I don't even necessarily have to be around them. But I guess I'm trying to say, like, it could be really easy to be bitter if you're shunned. It could be really easy to be angry and stay angry and be mad at people that are acting in such an unloving way. But for me, I just want the love inside me to keep growing. I don't want that experience to teach me how to be a bitter, angry person. I want it to show me, no, I'm going to be me, and the me now. And that's another thing Wendy, brought up in our interview. The me now is, I guess I have to say, a better person, because I'm more aware. I've evolved. I'm more aware of my own goodness. And I think that's amazing and beautiful. So I hope you guys enjoyed this message. I know not everybody's going to agree with everything I say, but I would love to hear your conversations. I will be paying attention to the comments. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see if maybe we can do a live YouTube stream sometime in the near future, so we can have more of a real conversation in real time with each other. That would be really fun. So thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for checking back in with me. I hope you all are well and healthy and loving yourself. Take care.